Mango and coconut. Now make a choice. You could pick whatever you want between these two, and that is what we call free will. Now, here's a definition from Google. Free will, in philosophy and science, is the supposed power of capacity of humans to make decisions or perform actions independently of any prior event or state of the universe. In the third case, that means even if you choose mango, you could go back to the same situation and choose another one. There's no certain preference unless you have an allergy or hate one specifically. Imagine you want an orange, but you don't have one, right? So does that mean you don't have free will because there's no third choice for orange? Now that is what I consider tricky, the illusion of free will. Another good example of the illusion of free will is heredity. We often hear certain comments like, "You're just like your father or mother," both in good and bad ways. Basically, your appearance is determined by your birth parents. But what else? What about your personality, your talent, and even the preferences you have, like your sexual orientation? These are the blurred part of free will. Do you have a chance when your genes or subconscious already make a choice for you? If people believe they don't have a choice but to kill someone, like the notorious serial killer Son of Sam, here's some information about him. During questioning, Berkowitz claimed that his neighbor's dog was one of the reasons that he killed, stating that the dog demanded the blood of pretty young girls. He said that the Sam mentioned in the first letter was his former neighbor Sam Carr, and that Harvey Carr's black Labrador was possessed by an ancient demon, which issued irresistible commands that Berkowitz kill people. Although he insisted that he was forced to kill by an ancient demon, 3 separate mental health examinations determined that Berkowitz was competent to stand trial. His lawyers advised Berkowitz to enter a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity, but he refused. After a while, even though he tried to act like a psycho, he was again found competent to stand trial after careful psychiatric examinations. In many cases, someone claims that the only way imprisoning criminals could be morally justified only if people have free will. For some of them, he believed he was not guilty of his crime because he was commanded by a powerful demon, which in his word was his neighbor's dog. Also, if maniacs kill someone on purpose, many say that there is no way to judge slaughterers since they're insane, and you can never judge lunatics with social standards. Maniacs cannot control what they do, so they do not have free will. Moreover, what if someone excuse a crime not by their free but by coercion? They kill others because they're forced to do so, not because they genuinely want so. So why judge a person without free will? That's why their slogan is, "I'm morally responsible for something only if that is under my control." Now, for the counter-argument. Those who disagree with the previous view also have their reasons. First, from a result-oriented aspect, crimes happen and there people got injured or even dead. So the causational people of such incidents are supposed to be responsible. If not, how can the desperate ones get redemption and comfort? Second, even if they blame alcohol, drug, mind control, and coercion, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are irresponsible for what they did. You are the only person who can move your body. We're not talking about hypnotism. So you could totally make choices from committing a crime to doing nothing, or you could bear the legal liability from your manslaughter related to alcohol. In many cases, the defense lawyers would say that their clients are not responsible for what they have done because they lack the free will to decide on what they should do. Also, that brings us to another idea called retribution. Retribution is not personal, it's directed only at wrongdoing, has inherent limits, involves no pleasure in the suffering of others, and employs procedural standards. It contrasts with other purposes of punishment like deterrence. The line between the two opinions I've mentioned before is whether a person should receive retribution if lacking free will. However, at least in my opinion, imprisoning criminals could be morally justified with or without free will. It is a society that gives the moral judgment. It is the victims and their beloveds that could forgive. As long as you live in this society and have connections with others, you can never get rid of social judgments even after you're dead. That is a depressing fact that everyone should accept. Therefore, we cannot convince others that you should not judge criminals morally because they lack free will. And we shall avoid that because people always have a choice. According to Sartre, you could choose to kill yourself rather than be forced to kill others, and the ones who blame anything except themselves are cowards. I agree with that because you could choose not to kill, not to get drunk, not to overdose on drugs, and not to submit to threats. That's what we should do, and that's why we could be the master of our own, even though the whole process is an expedition. even though you could hardly succeed, and even though it might take your whole lifetime.